Hello there everybody. Hopefully you can hear me. Let me know if you can't. I'm using my DJI mic attached to my Pocket 3 today, so hopefully it's better audio than it was last time. So let me know if you can hear me. Bump that chat overlay to the left a bit. You're making things complicated. This one, like that. Yeah, I'll try and do a tutorial maybe one day, once I've worked it out myself. Oh, perfect, thanks. It's good that the audio's working good. Is that chat window good? You want me to make it bigger, or what do you want me to do? Great. All right. Well, I've got a few bits and pieces to talk about today. The first one, though, I've got to show you something very serious. Let's see, how do I do that? Ooh, let's get rid of that. So check this out. Bear with me. I've got about 1,000 windows open at the moment, so I don't know what I'm doing here. There we go. So you should be able to see my screen now, hopefully. So we got my most recent videos from the last week, for example. You've got them all down here for the last few weeks. And this one at the top here, 1.2 thousand views, 174 comments, 99 likes. Seriously? Can someone not just hit so it goes to 100? Super important for this live stream. So if someone can go and fix that for me, that would be great. Anyway, let me get you back. Hold on a second. Oh, you've got to love that effect, haven't you? There we go. Anyway, so I've got a little list here of stuff to talk about, and I guess that thing wasn't as important as the rest of it. So let's get into something a little bit more interesting. So what's been going on recently with stuff? You know, you guys see my videos once a week, but you don't see this type of stuff where I just sit and chat about things. So I've been a bit slack on a few things recently. I mean, I got the first stage of monetization quite a while ago now, but I haven't really done anything with it. So today I sat down and had a look, and somebody convinced me the other day to activate the super chats thing, or the super, what's it called? Super chats or whatever it is, super thanks, that's the one. And got my first $10 from that, which YouTube take 40% of, thanks to YouTube. But that was fun to get that. That's a kind of milestone, I guess, to get a super thanks. And I set up memberships and stuff, nothing basically exciting, just if anyone wants to support the channel, they're welcome to, but there's no need to. So I set that stuff up because I've been a bit slack, because I've been working on a few other things, a few other projects. And there's a lot of stuff, right, on YouTube. When you start to grow and you start to build things, and you're trying to go to the next stage and make more stuff and expand, there's tons of things to think about. And last week I was sitting there and I just got so confused almost. I was sitting looking at the screen and I was just clicking and opening random tabs and stuff, and nothing. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't achieving anything. I was super tired, and it got to Friday and I just gave up in the end. So I sat down on Sunday and I made this, what would you call it? Like a journal, basically. And I'm going to probably try and make a video about that tomorrow, if I get the time to finish it. And basically what that is like a roadmap for the week ahead. So I'm going to sit down and do that every Sunday. And I found it super useful, because if you're sitting there and you're wondering what to do, or you've got all these other things going on in your life, and when you sit down to do YouTube for that couple of hours that maybe you only get per week, and then you're sitting there staring at the screen not even knowing what to do, this thing will tell you what to do, because you've already done it beforehand. So I'm going to share that with you guys. I'm going to give you a free copy of it as well, of course. So just checking out some of your comments there. So yeah, that's probably going to be a video for tomorrow. But one of the things I realized when I sat down and did that was the clarity that I needed was to say, just get monetized. Like, don't do all this other stuff. Just get monetized first, because getting monetized was the whole point that I started this channel. You know, it's the first video I made was, I'm going to monetize a channel from zero as an idiot, basically, knowing nothing about YouTube. And so I'm almost there with the watch hours. I'm around, it hasn't updated for today, but I'm around 200 watch hours that I need now. So this live stream was one of those reasons that I actually thought I'd better do another live stream, because they're quite good for watch time. So if you're needing watch time yourself, this is a good way to do it. If you guys have any questions, by the way, because the chat goes quite fast and it's delayed, and we also, it all blends into one a little bit. If you have a question, just type QQQ and then the question afterwards, because it makes it a bit easier to see. But I'll go through in a minute and have a look for your questions. Let me have a little scroll back. I see some faces, some regulars, and people that were on my last live stream. It's nice because people jump in a live stream that don't always comment on your videos. So they're probably watching, but they're just not always commenting. So it's quite nice to see people that you don't always get to chat to. And Plain Folk Living there, Josh, he's been with me since pretty much the start, when we were both YouTube idiots. We probably still are, but I actually made a video about Josh's channel when he had, I think it was 39 subscribers. You can go and check him out now. It's Plain Folk Living there. He's got a lot more than 39 now. So it's nice to see the people that have been around a while and the people who are always in my comments. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, just put them in there and I'll try to get through some of them. If I click on your comments, check this fancy thing out. There's Karen's comment. Hopefully you can see that. So I can actually display them on the screen for everybody to see, if I even see them myself, because when I'm sitting here talking away like this, I miss a lot of stuff. What else have we got? Let's see. Yeah, so pushing to monetization is my priority now, and I'm sort of hoping that it might be this week, but it's probably more like next week or the one after, especially with the delay with YouTube. But watch hours wise, like I said, I'm almost there, so hopefully in the next few videos I will get through that. So after that, this is a thing I think that's quite, what am I using to live stream? I'm using OBS. Let me click that. I'm using OBS in conjunction with something called Stream, what's it called? Stream Ninja, Social Stream Ninja. And OBS is really good for, because it's free and it has a lot of powerful stuff. It is a little bit of a pain to set up, I'd say. I consider myself, or I used to consider myself, quite technical, although I'm starting to doubt that when I get to my late 40s. But it took me a while to set it up, and there's a lot of tutorials, but you know, there's always options missing and all sorts of stuff. So, but I managed to get it set up and all this chat integration and stuff. So I will probably at some point try and do a video on it, but it's quite a lot of, could be quite a long one. I might need to do it in stages. But it is good, yep. As Eric there, Turbo 614 says, OBS is really good. He's probably a lot better at it than I am. This is my second live stream ever, so I'm not an expert, I have to say. So where was I? Yeah, I was talking about monetization. So when you get to that stage when you want to get monetized, I think sometimes it's just worth pushing through, because especially for my channel, it means something from the start of my journey, but also means something because I'm here doing tutorials and stuff and talking to you guys about YouTube motivation and things, which I'm not sure I exactly set out to do when I started. I didn't really know what I set out to do, but that's what I'm talking to you guys about. So it makes sense that I need to get monetized to have any sort of credibility almost. So I thought, just get that done. Stop messing about with all the other stuff, making courses and all this other stuff. I'll get to that. Yeah, so I wanted to show you something. I'll share my screen again. Let me just move you out of the way and just share my screen again. I want to show you something that I think is probably important for some of you to see. Let me see here. Oh, I've got so many windows open. There we go. So lot of people say search is dead. I hear this a lot in videos and I disagree. I've made a video about search, exactly how to find keywords and target it and all this other stuff. I even proved in that I could reach basically #1 on the YouTube search page for the search term that I made the video about at the time. Anyway, it's somewhere down here. But what I wanted to show you was, I can probably do it easier from here actually. No, I can't. Okay, just a second. I've talked about this video before. It's a video that I did on an AI tool. It's this one here. So Hera AI is a tool that you can use to create motion graphics for your videos, and I did a review on it. It wasn't perfect, I have to say. I gave it a little bit of a bashing, but this video, you can see when it started, it's got to like 26 days here and it got 400 views. Now it's on over 4,000 views. It's actually my second most viewed video now. And that's happened over time. You can see the steady rise in this video over, was it 156 days or something that it's been out. And if you look at the reach of this video, check out YouTube search, 42.2%. So if people are saying that search doesn't work or it's dead, it's rubbish. This click-through rate is also good because people are searching for the term, which makes this click-through rate one of my higher ones. I think it might even be my highest. And it's also given me 34 subscribers and 335 hours of watch time, which is basically 10% of what you need to get monetized, right? So this one video has done that. But what it's also done, which is even more interesting, I think, is if I go over to Hera's page and I go to my affiliate link here, you can see that I've made as an affiliate link, and this is after bashing the software pretty badly, I've made $106 from affiliate commissions, and this gets paid out like within almost like a day. It says 3 days, but it's really fast. And there's no sign up or anything like that. And there's a lot of services like this that you can do this with. And I'm going to be making a video about this type of stuff going forward as well. But this video's made me $106 way before being monetized. And if you did 10 videos like this, you'd be on $1,000, right? And not only that, this is a recurring payment that keeps coming every month as long as the people stay signed up. So I think that if people are going to tell you that search doesn't work, I don't know what to tell you, because you can clearly see right there that it does. Now, it doesn't work for everything. It's not perfect. But for content that involves a product, a service, or even like a news event or something that people are searching for, it can be really powerful. And in my video that you can scroll through and find, how to target search, I can't remember exactly what the title of it is called. I'll go and have a look. But in that video, I tell you how to do search. There it is. There we go. That one. How to rank on YouTube search. Makes sense. And I tell you how to do search, but also use browse in combination with search, because you can do both at the same time. And then you can just target both. So that video's got 185 views. But I think that's almost one of my more important videos that I've made. It's just older. So, you know, I didn't have so many people around at the time. Anyway, let me keep up with this chat stuff. Let me just see if there's any more questions before I move on. If you do have a question, spam it into there now while I'm looking at it, because otherwise I'll probably miss it. I'm just going back. Don't see anything. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't see anything since Karen's question. So, yeah, so what else have we got? Let me see. I'm going to take a look at my notes here and see what I've got. Yeah, so something I'm trying to work on at the moment is like a 12-week program, and I share a lot of extra stuff over on School, or I'm trying to. School's gone a bit slow recently compared to what it was, but it's a free community, and I share some free stuff over there, and you have access to me and to other people over there, and I answer questions and post up things from time to time. I'm trying to be better at that, but as I say, I've been targeting monetization, so I've been a bit slack over there as well. But there is extra stuff over there, and I don't know how I'm going to do some of these things, but a lot of extra content is kind of going over there, or a lot of extra discussions that I don't get to have through my videos. So if you want to ask something specific anytime, then hop over there and you can. I've put an idea actually in the school community, and I think Eric, I said today, was going to be the first victim of this scheme. That is going to be having or doing a video with, or doing videos with some of my subscribers, because not all of you are as big as my channel. I'm not saying I've got a big channel, but many of you are on maybe 50 subs and stuff. And so, and even if you're not, even if you're bigger than me, I've got an audience of people that watch, and some of those people might be interested in what you do. So I thought I could do some kind of, like, I didn't call it a podcast, but somebody else did, but have a chat with, you know, do a video and then post it up on the channel and just have a chat with other creators basically, and sit down and talk about what they're trying to do, how they're trying to do it, how they're trying to do it around a full-time job, all these other things that you guys might find interesting, and to hear from other people in the same boat, I guess. So it was just an idea I had as some maybe extra videos per week. And that as well, I've posted over in school. I haven't advertised that anywhere else. So if you go over there, if you're interested in that and you want to do a video with me, like an interview or whatever, where we just chat about YouTube, then go over there and you can sign up for that too. There's something I've been thinking about doing a video about, but I thought maybe I'd talk about it here on the live stream. And that is, I don't know how to explain it. Let me start with a story. So years back, this is probably pre-2010, I was out in the countryside and a family member was also there, and we were on this island in the middle of this lake, and he brings out this massive thing, looked like a helicopter. And I thought, what is this? And I looked at it, and I'd heard about drones, but they weren't a big thing back then. So he brought out this big drone. It was pretty large, and not like the small ones you get today. So he brings out this drone, and he basically put it down on the floor, and he pulls out this massive briefcase. I mean, it's, you know, huge briefcase, really thick. And he opens it up. It's got a TV screen inside and stuff. It looks like some kind of military thing. And I'm thinking, what is going on here? And I said, what is this thing? And he said, I've built a drone. And he got parts from China, and he just put it together himself from a blueprint. And so he takes off with this thing, and I'm watching it. I'm thinking, what is this? Like, and I can see straight away, you know, given my background in law enforcement and security, I can see straight away this thing's a potential problem, a great device, but also a potential problem from a security mindset. And so he's flying this drone around, and that was the sort of end of that. I didn't think too much more about it after that. And then it must have been, I don't know how much later, but maybe 6 months or something, I was in this training course at work, and it was a tabletop sort of exercise run by this explosives and ordnance guy. And we were talking about security related stuff, and he, I'll get to that question in a sec. I see there's another question there. So anyway, it was about security related stuff, and there was all these security managers and different people from different disciplines within the security industry. And the scenario was that you're going to attack this specific building, and how would you do that? And it went around the table, and everybody's saying the normal stuff that most people would think of. I'm going to drive a big truck up full of explosives, and I'm going to blow it up that way. And I was basically the last person. As it came round, I had to explain this thing, because I thought I'd use that drone. And so I sat there explaining to them what this drone was, because they weren't a big thing then, and you couldn't really buy them commercially. And so I explained what this drone was, and I said I'd get this drone and I'd sit like 2 kilometers away, which was the range of this thing. And so I would be nowhere near the place, and then I'd fly this thing. I wouldn't fly it to this building, I'd fly it to the building where the boss of this building stays or lives, and I would fly it through his doors that I know he has, these big French doors. In the summer he has them wide open all the time. I'd fly it straight through there into his bedroom, and boom. And they all looked at me like, what's this guy saying? And because I'd seen this thing, I'd seen this almost like vision of the future, I guess. And I just thought, this thing is something that is going to become massive and it's going to change things. Now I'm getting to a point here, so bear with me. So now we fast forward to where we are now with drones, right? And we see that that reality is even more than I could have imagined. But now we've got AI too, right? Now, when you're a content creator and you're talking about AI, something that bothers me is that where's AI going to go? Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist or any of that stuff, but I start to think, where's it going to go? And I'm thinking back to this drone story because I see where that went in the end. But I've tested a lot of AI stuff, including that Hera, and I haven't always been that impressed. In fact, a lot of the time I haven't been very impressed at all. It's quite an amazing technology, but it feels like it's in its baby stages. You know, even ChatGPT, you know, you ask it simple things and it comes out with these phrases that it always comes out with, and you think, oh, that sounds terrible. You end up rewriting what it says. And so, you know, it's not perfect. And AI video creation has been even more or less impressive to me. I haven't really found that very impressive, not from my own experiments at least anyway. But then I came across AI music, and Circuits FM's in here. He's actually got a music channel based around his own experience in music and AI. And I've heard what it can do with music, and that's where I start to get scared or worried, because what I realize is that it can recreate anything that has any kind of formula to it. So when you talk about things like tutorial videos, for example, now it's not perfect for making your own tutorial video through AI yet, but it will come, I'm sure. But you still need a human a lot of the time to demonstrate things. But what AI can't recreate so far, and I don't think it ever will, is that human touch and human connection. So my point here is that I see where I think AI is going, and I can even show you some music in a minute. Maybe we can even create a song in like 5 seconds live on this live stream. Maybe we'll do that in a sec. But anyway, it can do things that have a formula. So if your content has a formula, I would start working on putting yourself into your content as much as you can now, because if you don't, I think that those sort of ideas about AI taking over jobs, which is already happening, right? And AI being able to do stuff and replace you, I think back to that drone thing and I think, yeah, maybe there's something to this. So my thought is to put yourself into your content as much as possible and make your content based around almost you. Because if you do that around your experiences and your stories and the things that you know and just your personality or whatever it is that you can put into it, that is going to protect whatever else it is you're doing on your channel from these potential problems that people are already talking about. I'm not a genius, I didn't come up with this idea. But when I see this Suno and the music that it can create, it's nuts. And so I wanted to bring that up today because I thought it was an important thing to talk about that you can future-proof yourself with now. I've got a question here. Let's have a look. It's easier to read actually when I press it like that. What's your take on this podcast interview-like videos with the subscriber on the same channel or channel specifically for okay. So I think what you're asking is, should you have a podcast on the same channel as your other content? I guess it depends on what you're trying to do, but I don't think it would. If you're sticking to a subject and you're talking about a subject, the fact that you've got someone else there talking about it with you, I don't think detracts anything from or would be a different audience necessarily. But if it was going a slightly, you know, if I was just going to start talking about equipment with people or something like that, which I don't talk about that much on my channel at the moment, then I might consider starting a new channel. I actually thought about starting a new channel with equipment reviews, but I never did. But it's still that idea in the background. So I think if you're going off topic too much, then you should separate it. But otherwise, you can probably just do it on the same channel, or do it on the same channel and then separate it later. That's another option. I don't think it will do any damage, at least, if you're sticking to the same type of subject. It's the same subject. Yeah, I would say that that shouldn't be a problem. If it fits in line with what people that are already on your channel would like, then I think it should be fine. And if you have enough people to ask, then ask them. You know, do a poll saying, should I separate or should I stay on the same channel? You can do a community post and see if you get engagement there. I don't get too much engagement on my community posts, but much more on my videos. But do a live stream like this, maybe, and ask there, because you know, you get a small percentage of the people that are on your channel there talking to you. You can at least get some sort of opinion. Any other questions before I keep rambling on? A little music theory goes a long way, but I have inserted myself into the universe I'm creating via my radio show. Yeah, nice. And that's the thing, there's a lot of strategies around AI music, for example. I've got a channel with AI music on it, and it's literally a little side project I do on the weekend. And it's actually something that I decided to do because I was making music in Suno and it was really good. And I liked it and I was listening to it and I thought, well, other people probably like this too. So I put it out. I'm not sharing that channel at the moment. I talked about it in my last live stream, but it's something that I worked on as a side project, like I say, because I liked what I created. Are you guys interested in seeing Suno, a quick look at it, or do you want to do a song now? I create a song. It literally takes seconds and we can create whatever you want. Do you provide coaching services? Every YouTube growth channel seems to do coaching way too prematurely as well, in my opinion. I have done coaching a few times, and it's not something I've advertised in any of my video descriptions or anything like that. I've not really talked about it much in any videos either. It's something that I've put into school, but it's just an offer there if anybody wants to chat one-to-one. So I have done coaching a couple of times, yeah. And it's interesting, actually. The first time I was approached to do it, I can tell you the story a little bit, because this is something maybe for you guys to think about when you monetize different aspects of your channel. So I was emailed by one of my subscribers asking, do I do coaching? And I said, it's something I'm looking to do in the future, but I haven't started doing it yet. But I could, we could have a chat if you want to. And I offered like a free 15-minute chat first, so we could make sure that, everything was good. And she said, no, we don't need that. We can just go straight to the real thing. Okay. So I didn't want to set a price because I hadn't done it before. And it was kind of a test, if you like. So I said to her, how much do you want to pay? So you name the price and we'll go with that. And she said, oh, I don't know, like $200 to $300. This is for an hour call. And I was thinking more like 100. So if that, at the stage I was at. So I said, okay, well, we'll go with your lowest then. So I did it for $200. And the weird thing is about that is that you make this channel and you think, is this ever going to go anywhere? Am I ever going to get paid for doing anything on here? And then someone comes along and offers you, $200 to $300, which is maybe what you used to earn in a day. Some people earn that in a day, right? So it was very interesting to have that experience, and for someone to be so keen on doing it that they first approached me, and secondly, they want to pay so much. The next ones I did, I lowered the price to around, I think, 110 just to account for fees and stuff. So I've done some at $100 an hour. But so yes, I have done it, and I think with thinking about doing it prematurely, I think it depends what the person's looking for. So I think it's worth, if you're going to do it, it's worth talking to the person first for free for maybe 15 minutes and just seeing what is it they actually want. Because, some things you maybe can't help them with, and some people aren't, you're not going to be able to help them. I had one person recently on my channel who was making comments, and they were just complaining about their progress. And I looked at their videos and they were not good in so many ways. And so in the end, I had to sort of make a comment, a nice comment, I think, but say, maybe you should think about this. And they were really defensive and really anti any advice, free advice basically. And I thought, why are you watching motivation videos on YouTube, but you won't take any advice? Because you're watching them because you're not getting anywhere. So you should be glad, I guess, to get some sort of feedback and maybe think about what you're doing. And that's why I was talking about self-reflection in my last video, because I think it's really important skill to have on YouTube. Anyway, so yeah, coaching can be a bit of a funny thing because you have to make sure that it's compatible and that you're able to fulfill what the person wants, because sometimes they just need a kick in the butt or a bit of clarity or something. And you can see that clarity by looking at their channel. In fact, Josh from Plain Folk Living that you see just down in the text chat there, the reason, well, the first contact we really had, apart from him subscribing, was when I did a channel review. If you go way back on my channel, you'll see that channel review. And that was almost not coaching, but it was a mini kind of channel review, if you like. And I did a video about it, just suggesting some things that maybe Josh could think about. But as I've got more experienced in YouTube and, learnt more, I guess I know a lot more now than I did then. But I think just having that person to have a second opinion and a second look, and just having, I sit here on my own doing this. I only talk to you guys about it and nobody else. So, other people don't understand it. So to have someone real to talk to who actually cares that you succeed is quite a valuable thing. And sometimes you just need one little bit of advice. And so, yeah, coaching is something I do offer, but I don't promote at the moment. So if anyone's interested, you can go onto my school website and it's easier to do there. I normally arrange stuff there, but I haven't pushed it, and eventually I will. But I think the model of one-to-one coaching it has a ceiling basically. So once you've only got so many hours in a day, right? So once you get to a certain ceiling, it's better to do group coaching instead, because there's a lot more money and a lot less time spent, in fact, when you do it with 3 to 5, let's say, people at a time. What are you guys chatting about in here then? Let's have a look. Thanks for your content and storytelling, and your YouTube visions in general resonate with me. Thanks a lot. Appreciate that. It's always nice to have kind words said. That's normally the case, but you get the odd person that doesn't appreciate what you try to do. Yep, there are always people who don't want to help. I made a video about a missionary trip that I once did in Africa where homeless, starving young men. Oh, nice. That's cool. So doing good stuff and using YouTube, I guess, as a vehicle to help people. That's great. That's what I'm trying to do on this channel. But at some point, of course, I need to survive and pay my bills so that I can provide hopefully value to everybody. Mentoring is a very good earner. Yeah, indeed it is. I always did it for free in the jobs. That's the thing. I mean, I've been managing people since I can remember. I mean, pretty much since my first job almost. I remember standing in a pub, being the head doorman of this pub when I was 19, and I had all these guys around me that were double my age. And so I've been managing people for years, and even more importantly, coaching people, because I've been responsible for groups of people. I've been the, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the direct manager, the line manager for specific groups of people that I have to evaluate. And my one thought through my whole career is to help people. All of the jobs I've done basically since I can remember are to help people, working in security, looking after people, working in the police. And even being a manager, my interest was always that those people succeeded. My friend I talked about in my most recent video, he's doing great now, and he attributes all of his success basically to me. And I tell him, like, it was like 10% me and 90% you. But he is a real supporter of mine. I should get him on here to get some more references for some coaching maybe. But there's many people that I've coached over the years, and I think a lot of you do it in your jobs too. You might not realize it. And even if you work in, like a coffee shop or something, you're still dealing with people every day, and you're still having to talk different customers around and do all this other stuff that you can apply to coaching. As long as you've got good intentions for people and you've got some sort of knowledge and skills and experience of helping people, I think you can do great at it. And it is super rewarding as well, financially, but I mean from on a personal level. So I think it's well worth doing that type of stuff. And I think that's why most of us are on YouTube, right? To provide some sort of entertainment or value to people. And everybody here that is in my chat, I can basically pretty much tell you what they do on their channels. So I know that everybody here is pretty much trying to help people or trying to entertain people, trying to provide something. Yep. Being very knowledgeable about your content and niche is very important. Absolutely. Yep. Let's have a look here. I think the low views and lack of engagement show me that you are missing the mark on your content. Tells me a lot, but always open to critics to get better. Yeah, exactly. I think you've got to be open to criticism on YouTube, or at least criticism of what you're doing, and if you can do it better, because it's a lonely thing. And if when you sit here on your own doing it all the time, it's you start to second guess everything in the end. Start to wonder what you're doing. And it is nice to have another voice, or people telling you, you know, in the comments that they appreciate what you're doing. And yeah, so it is really important, I think. Suno is fantastic. It sometimes takes a couple of tries to get what you want. Yeah, absolutely. I didn't see what you guys said about Suno, but I can try and show you something if you want. Some of you already know because you've already used it, but let me see. I've got to find a window first. I've prepared a screen share window here. Let me drag you across. Let's see. There we go. You should be able to see that now. Yep. So here is Suno, right? This is just some test ones I did earlier. The process I use for Suno is pretty simple. If you want lyrics, I usually use Claude because it seems to write better lyrics. So let's say, I don't know, end of the world, right? Lyrics for a metal song. Oh God, my typing. There we go. So it's just going to write me some random lyrics. These might be bad, but they might be a bit cheesy sometimes. Obviously you can modify lyrics, or you can write your own, but this is nuts. You're going to see how nuts it is in a minute. So you've got the lyrics here. There we go. Doesn't look very long, but that's a whole song's worth of lyrics. I'll just copy them. Over in Suno, you go to the lyrics section. There was some that I did earlier. Wait a minute. There we go. Paste them in. We'll put heavy metal song just for the sake of it, right? We press create. Now this is how long it takes, right? That took what, a minute, maybe? As soon as these have a play button, you can basically start playing them, and it's still working on the song while you can play it. So here we go. So hopefully you'll be able to hear the audio. I'll put my speakers inside. Just let it play for a second.
Here's an end of a world metal song for you. The last horizon.
I mean, I quite like heavy metal. I haven't looked at this, but I like most genres of music. That's pretty good. Maybe see what scares me now.
Skies turn to ash, the sun bleeds black. No salvation, no turning back.
So that was 2 songs created in, what, a minute, maybe? Now it's the same song, or it's the same lyrics, but 2 different versions of the song. And I can just literally hit create, sorry, and it will just make more and more and more and more over and over. It's nuts. And what I've found is that it rarely gets anything wrong. It rarely makes mistakes. It rarely, sometimes it cuts off the end of a song a little too quickly. But other than that, you can do so much in here. That's literally scratching the surface. But you can remix things. You can go into a studio mode if you have the right subscription, and you can start moving instruments around and stuff. It is insane. And what's so amazing about this is that it actually works pretty much perfectly. And if other AI stuff can do what the same kind of quality this can do, I think, I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore about that, to be honest. So yeah, I don't know. I hope that's been a demo for you of it. But you can literally, you know, my prompt there was terrible as well. Heavy metal song. If you prompt it with a proper prompt, which I usually write in ChatGPT, I just tell it what I'm going for, the feel I'm going for and stuff. You can get really specific stuff, and Circuits FM is a much better person to probably talk through this process, but I usually go a little bit more into it than that. But you can make, I don't even know, hundreds of songs in minutes. It's crazy. Copyright wise, can't hear you now over the music. Oh well, you didn't need to, it was boring anyway. But copyright wise, you don't, it depends on the country and stuff as well, but I believe in the US at least that, and in most countries in fact, AI music isn't copyrightable unless you have a significant part in creating it. So for example, if you used a little part of some music from AI and the rest of it was you, and you wrote all the lyrics and you did everything, then you can claim that you've had the significant part in it. But if you've just done what I did, I had basically no part in that. So in theory, no, you can't copyright it. But for me, like on my music channel, I honestly don't care because there's so much now AI music out there as well, and so much good stuff, that someone coming and using one of my songs, like, you know, I can just go and create a song now for one of my YouTube videos from this, for example. Do I care if someone else uses it? I mean, someone can just rip my YouTube video and put it on their website. So I don't really think about it in those terms. I think if I was trying to claim some sort of rights to it or something, then sure, it would be a problem. But the way I use it, and the way you guys probably want to use it, it honestly doesn't matter. Like, I don't think if someone used your song, like, who cares? And just make another 10 in like 2 minutes. Let's see. Let me put you back onto the main display so I can read what you've all been saying, and probably bashing on me for, sorry, that was the wrong window, bashing on me for talking while the music's on. Let's cut to the chase. Who's going to give me a donation right now? No one needs to give me any donations. You absolutely don't need to do that. Strybora says it's easy to tell it's AI. Perhaps, yeah, but there's so many things it can do and so many songs. This is the thing as well. Maybe you've heard about that sort of myth that if a monkey sits there and hits, you know, a piano enough, it'll eventually play Mozart, which I guess in theory might work. But it's kind of like that with AI, because you can spam out so many songs. In the end, you're going to get something that, you know, fits whatever it is you're trying to do, and probably doesn't sound so much like AI. And the music for the intro for this video was also AI stuff that I made. It was hand pan music. I don't know if you know what that is, anyone, but you can just make anything. That's the crazy thing. And I've made some synthwave, which is what Circuits FM makes, and it's music I like listening to. I mean, I've literally been listening to my own AI music today. When I was sitting here working, I was trying to chill out, I just put some of the more relaxing stuff on, and I like it. I mean, I don't know if I want to admit that, but it's really good. I like Suno for instrumental background music, exactly, more than lyrical songs. Yeah, and it's really good for specific things, some genres and stuff. It really makes good stuff. Others, I agree, not so good. And sometimes it's your prompt as well, because I get quite specific with my prompts normally, not like I did there. Yeah, Karen says, how much does it cost? It varies, but I think someone answered, yeah, $10 for a basic. You can actually test it out for free. And if I get you, I can maybe get you a link, because there's a link that isn't an affiliate link. It's basically you get a bunch of credits and I get a bunch of credits. I don't need them because I've got the kind of top plan, but you can get a bunch of credits for free by using my link. I can maybe put that into the chat. I'll have a look. But yeah, it's I think even the top one I pay about $20 or something, and it's not expensive, and for the amount of stuff you can do, it's really good. Where is that window? Yes, Suno. Let's see. I'll put it in the chat if you guys want to test it out yourselves. You can get, yeah, I think it's 250 free credits or something. How do I do that there? Here it comes. Invite friends. There we go. Let's see. Here is the link for Suno. You can copy and paste that or click on it. And that gives you, I didn't even read what it said, but 250 credits if you make 10 songs, I think. And you can make 10 songs, I believe, with the free version anyway. And there's a few activities you can do on Suno, like test a few things out for them or something, and they give you more credits. Or at least there was when I first joined. So I think Suno is super impressive. It's the best AI tool that I've used, I think, out of everything so far. There's a couple of other things I wanted to show you on this live stream, which I can share my screen again. Sorry, keep dragging you around and stuff, but let's see. There's a really good productivity tool that I want to show you. Wrong window again. And this thing's really helpful. This was mentioned to me by one of my subscribers. Here we go. And what this is, it's called fizzy.do. You can see up in the address bar there. Just search fizzy productivity or fizzy Kanban in Google and you'll find it. This is a fresh one that I haven't done anything on. This is what I use to plan all my ideas, all my tasks for the week, all kinds of stuff on here. Let me show you how it works, because then it'll make more sense. So I can add a column in here, for example, and I can put long form, right? And I can add another one and I can put shorts, just for the video's sake. What you do is you add a card, and it basically comes up with effectively a little version of Word within this card. You can have 1,000 cards for free on here. So if you've got 1,000 ideas or more, then you have to start paying, but I think you just delete the old ones and then you can carry on until you reach 1,000 again. Anyway, so let's say I've got a video idea, right? I want to do a, I don't know, live stream next week. And then I just create the card. You can put a description, you can put your whole video script in here if you want. You can put pictures, attachments, everything. So now I've created that card and it's gone into my maybe pile, which is basically your holding pile, if you like, your one you haven't decided what to do with them yet. You can drag it into not now and it just gets saved for later, or you can drag it into long form. And now when you click on long form, you've got obviously that card in there. There's loads of stuff you can do here with highlighting cards and all sorts of stuff, but if we just put a few test cards in, then you'll be able to see that it builds up quite quickly, and you can drag them into any section you want. And then you've got shorts ideas, you've got long form ideas, you've got a bunch of random stuff in my real one that I use. In my version, I've got loads of stuff in here. I've got hundreds of ideas and things I want to work on, and I've got a to-do list, and I've got everything. And it's so simple, and you can collapse all of these columns, you know, and open them up. You basically have two open at the same time, the maybe and whichever one you've highlighted. This is really good, and it's free, and it's really simple. And for me, it's been the best Kanban, the best like organizer, if you like, that I've come across. And it was recommended by Sean, one of my subscribers. So check this out. I really, really recommend it. And it's so simple, and you can have it on your phone. There isn't an app at the moment, but you can create an app by just creating like a link to the website basically, and it comes up with the logo and everything. I've done it on my phone. It's super simple. You can Google how to do that. Just checking. How much does it cost? Yeah, that's the last question, all right. Yeah, so that's one productivity tool I really recommend. It's super useful. Just try it out. And then the other one, this thing is, you can see my notes here actually for the, I'll just drag it onto the main board. I made a new board here for this video. This is Miro, which is also free. In the free version, I think you can have 3 different boards or something. It doesn't have all the AI features, but it has a lot of features, and in the free version. I pay for a business plan because I use this every day now. What it is, it's like a mood board. So let me show you something here. I can go to a video. Let me just grab a link to, here's Alexa's video. Let me grab that. I can paste in, if any of you guys have ever heard of Poppy AI, this is a little bit like that. So now I've pasted in a link. This isn't in the free version, I'm afraid, but I've pasted in a link to a video. I can watch the video from here. I can also add in a document. This is where it gets really powerful. So it asks me with an AI sidekick, what do you want to do? Create me a plan for my channel over the next month. What should I focus on? And bearing in mind it's got no context now. It's going to create me a document telling me, give me a plan basically. So I will show you it. It takes a second to generate this, but it gets even more crazy because now it's created this plan for me, right? So it's talking about what to do basically. Now, if I like that, I can add it to the canvas. I can highlight any part of it and use AI to do whatever I want to do with it, reformat it, whatever. Now I can create a new document linked to this one. And then I can say, based on the linked doc, what are the 3 most important things to do? And then it will tell me, based on that, what I need to do. So this thing is huge. Like, you can make flow charts, drawings, you can put images on here. There's so much stuff you can do with this. It's crazy, and I barely scratch the surface myself, and I use this every day. There's templates. It can create from a document. It can create a whole flow of, like, say you want to create an app. It will basically make an interface for you and everything. It's crazy, and you can change the AI to be Claude, ChatGPT, all sorts of stuff. So there we go. There's the 3 most important things that it thinks I need to do based on its own guesses. But if I put in here some sources of my own about video ideas and stuff like that, which you could do, for example, just by sticking a sticky note on here, right, and saying live stream or something. You can link all these sources to a document and then say organize these. You know, if you've just got ideas you want to get down really quick, you can throw 50 sticky notes on here, write on them, and then you realize I've just got a jumble of ideas. You link it to a document and say put these in a sensible order, and it will do it. This thing is so good. Like I said, I use it every day, and if you're creating any sort of plans, any workflows for yourself, any courses, anything pretty much, this thing is, again, one of the best AI tools I've used. The only thing it doesn't do is transcribe video, which you can do for free in Notebook LM anyway, and then you can paste that into here anyway. You can link Google Docs directly on the board as well. There's loads of stuff, but it can't take a video like Poppy does and then use it as a source for a document and then get it to summarize a video. But I reckon that's coming. There was an app for it that you could do that before, but I don't know where it went. It disappeared. Test this out. It's free. I really recommend it. Other than that, let me get you guys back a sec. Hold on. Any other questions from you guys? We've been going for about an hour now, so I might wrap it up soon if you guys don't have anything specific. But I'll just check. I actually wrote the notes for this live stream into Miro, sorry, today. So, like I said, I use it every day for pretty much everything now. It's so good. What else have we got on here? Let's have a look. Does anybody want me to take a look at anything on their channels? I'm happy to do that. If you want me to, just do a QQQ in the comments again, and I'll go and take a look, and you can ask me a question about something if you want, about thumbnail or whatever. If you want to do that, I'm happy to go and look. Or if you just want to promote your channel on here and what you do, I'm happy to take a look and promote it to the people that are on it and the people who are going to watch this in the future too. Oh, the other thing you can do with Miro is you can share a board, and when you share a board, you can actually make a video directly into the Miro board, record it on there, and you can explain to somebody like a presentation, for example, if you're doing it for work. It's so good. I can't even, I'm going to think about 20 other things it does that are great as soon as I stop this live stream. You have to stream for at least 4 hours. Oh God. I'll use up all my video ideas then. I've just used about 4 of them. Soon those terms say that paying for a subscription gives you permission. Yeah, you do get permission to use it, but you don't get copyright. Those are 2 different things, unfortunately. In Miro, this is Josh's comment I'm talking about here. Yeah, exactly. Can they even track it even if you use a sort of, you know, free version? Probably not. But yeah, it doesn't give you any copyright, unfortunately. And sometimes actually when you read some of the terms and conditions, it almost suggests that it does, but if you actually look up the proper laws, it doesn't. Yeah, anybody got any questions, or anybody want me to go and have a look at their channel? Let me know. I've got a bit of pollen allergy. I'd never had pollen allergy until I was in my 40s. I'm 47 now. I didn't have pollen allergy until I was, I don't know, 42 or something. And it just came out of nowhere. I didn't even know what it was. When I had it, I thought I had a cold. Here in Sweden now, all the trees and stuff are starting to release the pollen, even though there's snow still on the ground. Sometimes it starts in February. It's crazy, even when it's like completely, you know, like a white Christmas. Weird. So I'm suffering a little bit from that today, but not too bad. At least my eyes are decent. So otherwise I'd be sitting like this the whole time. QQQ, do you find that some of your videos take months or years to take off? That has been my experience the whole way through. Yes, definitely. Let me drag you back across and I'll show you. Well, the one I showed you with Hera, that is absolutely one of them that took a long time to take off. Where is my tab? Let's see. But yeah, other ones, even my first video, let me go back to that, I'll show you. My first video had 25 views after, I can't remember, I have to show you. It was a long time, a really long time. Yeah, here we are. So after 49 days, it had 22 views. When did I get to 25? There, 60 days, so 2 months to get to 25 views. And then for some reason, on the sort of 100 mark, somewhere around here, it started to take off. And I mean, it hasn't gone crazy, but 389 views now. It was stuck on 25 for months. And I made this video because my friend Raina has a channel, Small Retired Life. I've talked to her about a lot. Some of you will have heard of her. You'll get sick of hearing about it because I talk about her in most videos, or at least I did. And I spoke to Raina the other day and we were talking about this, and she made a video. Let me show you. She made a video, second video or something she made, and got monetized in 2 days. And I made a similar video there and I had got 25 views after 2 months. So what can you say? This is Raina's video, 851,000 views she's got now. And we were talking about this, when was that? Last week on Friday, I think it was. So yeah, you never know what your videos are going to do, when they're going to take off, if they're going to take off. And my Hera one is another example of that. And I think search-based stuff especially is a slow burn. It's a real build over time thing. But the great thing about the search-based stuff is that it keeps going. Like it will be my, unless I get some sort of viral video, it will be my #1 video in the end. I'm almost guarantee you that, because it just keeps producing results. Whereas most other ones, let's see, where's my, let me sort by views, I'll show you. My 6-month video here, which is my most popular video so far, that one is probably pretty stuck. It still quite gets a few views, but this one's catching up, and this one's much older. This one's October, that one's December, so there's almost a couple of months between the release, and Hera just continues to catch up. And it used to be way below this one, which is my 3rd most popular one, and now it's overtaken. So it's only a matter of time. So absolutely videos take time to take off sometimes. And there's probably a million reasons for that. Trends, you know, popular topics at certain times and stuff like that. But yeah, they can. So old videos are not dead or useless. Some of them, some of them are. But let's go back and have a look. Yeah, so you've got one here, for example. This one's a problem with CapCut. That one's got 45 views. I've got another one very similar. It's got 600 and something views now. I guess not as many people had that problem or something. I don't know. But yeah, you know, I've still got, look, these old videos with no views. Someone even commented, I think, on this one the other day. It's not a good video, but someone commented, I can't believe this has only got, you know, whatever it had at the time. And it is what it is. You know, some videos don't take off. Here's Josh's video. Look, it's, Plain Folk Living. That's his 39 one. So some of these videos I didn't think they were going to take off for my channel. I'm just trying to build community and help people to get experience of, you know, reviewing people's channels. So some videos aren't valuable in the sense of bringing in a load of views, but they're valuable in other ways, and you learn a lot from them. One of my favourite video that I've ever made is this one. I think, What's Your Why? You guys can go and check that out if you want. It's only got 99 views. I love that video. I really enjoyed making it. It almost tells me that I should probably go outside and just film stuff and, and post it, because I like doing it so much. But no one watched it, you know, really. And that was at a time when some of my other videos were doing pretty good. So, you know, it's only from October. I think it's that one anyway. But yeah, it's one where I'm outside doing a lot of stuff and just filming and talking about why I do my channel, basically. So I hope that answers your question, Karen. Let's see what else we got here. Managed to get myself up to 92 subs now. Nice, good work. I was going to do a live stream to celebrate getting to 100. Yep. If I get there, thoughts worth it. Yeah, I think starting to do live streams as soon as you can. If I could go back, I'd probably do it right from the start. No one will be watching, probably. I can jump over and listen to your live stream. I'm happy to do that if I can. But normally no one will be watching at the start if you don't have much of an audience. But you'd be surprised. There might be 1 or 2 people jumping in. But what it does is it gives you good experience of doing a video, I guess, a bit under pressure, because I'm sitting here having to try and entertain you guys now live rather than, you know, cutting everything out and arranging it in a video how I want it. And it's also, I think it gives you a lot of watch time eventually. So if you build up the skills now to do it, I think when it actually becomes more relevant for your channel, you're going to be really good at it. And so I would definitely start doing lives, because the thing with lives that you've got to remember as well is people watch them live. So all of this watch time I'm getting now for the live views gets added to the watch time from people watching it when you upload it to your channel later. So I know there's people that are going to watch this later. It happened on my last one, and I've had people saying they're going to watch because they couldn't make it today. So you're basically double dipping in watch time, which is great. And because some of you have been sitting here with me now for an hour, then that's quite a lot of watch time immediately before this has even been put on my channel. So yeah, well worth doing, and I would recommend you start as soon as you can. Yeah, maybe just do a live now, exactly, and that live will get you over the 100 hump. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I've got a lot of learning about lives to do myself, because let me put you back over here. Let me stop sharing that screen. There we go, so I can see myself. Yeah, setting up live was a bit of a pain, so it's something to work on over time. But it's not that bad. But sometimes if you want to do specific things, like have this chat on the screen and have the little box that you click on to make it pop up, that involves a little bit more work. And some of the tutorials are either outdated or just wrong, and they just don't work. So it takes you a while to obviously go through and find the right stuff to set up. But I'll try and I'm happy to help, you know, especially over on school. I can try and do that. Even I can do a call with you if really needed to, you know, for a few minutes, and just try and, if you've got any problems with it. So I'm happy to help if I can. My biggest concern about YouTube is consistency. My last video, oh, hang on, kind of exploded. Oh, okay, that's good. My last video kind of exploded, but I'm not sure I'll be able to repeat that kind of virality. There's always a risk to get it wrong. Yes. Josh maybe could share some things on that. He's gone viral basically with some videos. I always talk about Josh as well. I can tell you about Josh. Josh has a channel about like homesteading and prepping, and he did some videos on Fallout, which is a video game and a TV series now, and that's obviously in the same niche, although it's a little bit of a outlier topic, I guess, compared to his normal stuff from before. And that video went nuts, and then every video he's done on Fallout so far has then gone crazy, and now he's got a massive boost in subscribers, a massive growth really quickly from that, and some of his other videos are also doing well now. But he also experienced the whole almost going viral, and then the next video gets, you know, a low amount of views. Don't worry about it. I mean, it's just, I think what me and Josh talked about was that you just got to do what you think's right and what you want to do in the end, and you know what you want from your channel. It's what I said in my video the other day. If you don't, I've seen so many people quitting because they've done content or channels that they don't like. And I had somebody who I've done a one-on-one call with, and she had 3 channels, and she quit her main channel recently, as I said in my video. And she did that because she didn't like it, and she liked the other 2. And that's the right decision, you know, to do what you want to do, because you can't make a channel. She used to dread it in the end. She hated doing it. So, I mean, you can't do stuff you hate doing, and then you may as well go and get any old regular job that you also hate. Because if you're doing YouTube to, you know, to get out of another situation, or to find freedom, or to get out of a job or whatever, you can't make it something you hate as well, or you're just replacing one bad thing with another. So do stuff you want. Let me highlight Josh's comment there. Sorry, I'm clicking away. I started shifting my niche and views went to nothing. Just going to keep posting and retrain the algorithm as to what my channel is. Exactly. See what Strybore's got to say there. Some videos will hit the trend, yep, and algorithm at the right time, and you get a pop. Don't put expectations on the next video. Just stay consistent, and the steady growth is more important. Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. I got another friend, Adam, from The Basement Economist. He's somebody I speak to every week on WhatsApp, on a video call, because he's another one of those people who I did a channel review of, and he's another one of those people who's been around a long time on my channel. He got monetized on his finance channel basically from one video. Not his first video. He made multiple videos that didn't really do anything, and then he made one, it went viral. Then he made a follow-up, and it didn't really do anything much. And then literally the video after his, what's he got, 200 and something thousand views, the video after got 35 views. I think I talked about it in my last live stream. How do you go from hundreds of thousands to 35? And he's in the finance niche. He's talking about financial matters, but this particular thing he talked about, for whatever reason, went crazy, and no one wanted to watch the other stuff. And he's taken a pause on his channel now. He's monetized, but he's taken a pause because, again, he doesn't love it. And so he's also got a second channel, which he prefers, but he's also paused on that. So doing stuff you don't like, or trying to chase things because you think it's going to make you successful, you've got to ask yourself what success are you actually getting? Because it sounds fun to be monetized, and it sounds fun to, you know, start earning something from YouTube and all of that stuff, and you could build a massive channel off stuff you hate, but how long are you going to do it for? If you can do, you know, 20k months and do it for a year or something, okay, maybe it's worth it. But if you're talking about a few $100, you know, or even enough to live on, it's still probably not worth it if you hate it. Let's see, clear that away. Yeah, it is tough, as Karen says here, with the issues that she's facing. It is hard. I mean, I've had plenty of periods, even recently, before the last, what, 3 videos or something. I've had periods where, let me share my screen again. I'll show you. I've had periods where things just disappeared, you know. Let me see. I need to do it by date. All right, so wait a minute, where are we? Yeah, okay. So if we go back to before Christmas or around December, we have some videos here. This is where my channel started to grow in a big way compared to before. And you've got, let's see, you've got 5,000 views there from that 6-month update video I did around December, right? When's that? December 3rd. And you've got 900, 400, 600. I mean, not bad. 1,003, 2,005. Some pretty decent numbers. And then 389, 400, 400, 255. It's getting worse, right? It's going down. And you think, what is going on? I mean, is everybody there just to watch a video about 6 months and then subscribe to the channel and then not watch anything else? Apparently they were. But then in February, that random video I did where I got sticks stuck to my head when I was just out in the forest complaining about YouTube, and because I've had a bad week or bad couple of weeks on YouTube. Terrible video in a way, but I just put it out because it's part of my journey. That's what I do on this channel. And it got 788 and people, loads of engagement because people were laughing at me with my stick stuck to my head. But then things started up again, look. And today, this one, I believe, the video I released this week is 2 of 10. So it's number 2 out of the last 10 in terms of views at this current stage. So things pop up, things change. And you can't always know why. I don't know why that happened. I could go into my analytics and stuff. I could try and guess that the subjects I talked about were so much more interesting than the ones I did. It could be a seasonal dip. There's so many reasons. I also saw another guy I speak to who has a similar sized channel to me in the same niche. He had the exact opposite. In December he did terribly. Then he grew really fast in the first 2 months or something of 2026. And now he's gone back down to the sort of 400 range again. And he's almost exactly the same size as me. Exactly the same niche. So it's almost like we swap places. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. So this is why I tell you to not worry too much about this stuff, because it's just going to drive you nuts. And while you're worrying about that and trying to work all this out and sitting in your analytics, you're not making more content, or you're not planning out how you could improve, what you could do better. You're not writing out a plan like my Sunday plan that I use, that I'll share with you soon. Things that actually make a difference, things that actually help you and make you feel better about this whole thing. You just sit here looking at this rubbish, basically, because I can't see it here now, but on Studio on the phone you can see, and some of these stats, it says, oh, people are watching this as much as normal. And you go back and you're like, they're not, or they're watching it much more. And it's only comparing it to a certain amount of videos. It's not comparing it to everything. It's just, there's so much junk information in here that a lot of it's just not worth looking at. There are some things that are, but I've been into those before. I won't go too heavily into analytics now because that gets super boring, I think. But some stuff in is worth looking at, maybe retention and the average view durations, worth a look. But even that, don't trust YouTube Studio, because it will tell you that the average view duration is really good, but it depends on the length of the video and stuff as well, and especially the percentage viewed. So yeah, I wanted to be into analytics. I am quite analytical. I've done a lot of analysis stuff within the security industry, but this stuff, you don't have any context. You have about 10% of what you really need to make an educated assessment of stuff, and the rest of it is only what YouTube knows, and they're not going to tell you, and you're never going to find that info. So, gurus on YouTube will tell you that you are, or that they have the answers, but they don't. Except for a few, as I said, actually useful statistics in there. what are you guys up to in here? Hi there, just stopping by quickly to say, oh, hello Clementine, thanks for stopping by. That's no problem, thanks for stopping in. You can watch it anyway afterwards if you want. I found you in November 2026, so right at that time. Yeah, exactly. So many people found me from that 6-month video, and I guess when that took off, as it did, YouTube started taking notice for a couple of weeks until it couldn't be bothered anymore, and it went over to my friend Steve's channel and took notice of him instead. But yeah, you know, what can you do? The problem is that often when you have these big spikes, I've seen it so many times now, this is the thing, because I look at other people's channels, that's kind of my thing, right? So all the channels I've looked at, this stuff's happened to, it's really demoralizing. I'd almost prefer not to have those big things and just be constant and steady, because that feels better. Even video IQ data isn't accurate. No, that's right. I make nowhere near what they say. No, exactly. Oh, you see this 57 now. Yep. My best video attracted sports fans. Let me just click on that. Though the video on my channel is predominantly workplace. Yep, exactly. I've watched a couple of your videos, Amlan, back in the day, and so I know the type of content you make, and that's really weird. I wonder what was the specific thing that, what was it the sports fans were there for? Any idea? Yeah, that's weird. I can only imagine that you've talked about a certain thing that you've related to your normal niche, and YouTube suddenly picked up on that language within the video and said, oh, okay, this is clearly for sports fans, which I guess it probably wasn't. It was maybe a story you used or something that to illustrate a point, and then it took it as a sports video. I don't know. You just have to give me a little bit more info there, but it does do weird things. You know, go back and watch that video that I made about, what was it, 2 weeks on YouTube or whatever, or the algorithm hates you video. Used to see the kind of junk that my videos were being recommended after. And the funny thing is, that got better, and then it went worse again. And it went back to being recommended after all this trash, like reality TV stuff. And why would someone that watched that suddenly want to watch a video about me standing out in the forest talking about YouTube growth? It doesn't make any sense. But it did. And then it went back again, where it was showing me after people like Rob the Maritimer and people that are actually in my niche again. And why did it do that? You know, there was an interesting theory from one of my subscribers, actually. It might have been one of you guys, I don't know. Anyway, basically the theory was that chat bots, like the YouTube algorithm isn't one thing, it's multiple, say, bots, let's say. And some of them are better at certain tasks than others, or better at certain niches. So if one of them comes in that's good at YouTube growth and it understands YouTube growth, then it's going to be good at promoting my content to the right people. But then another chat bot, well, what am I saying? AI, you know, algorithm bot, whatever, comes in and it's good at sports, let's say. It doesn't know what to do with my content. And I thought about that, and I thought, it sometimes does look like that. Because sometimes, like I said, you get these random things, and I don't know. Thanks, Strive Warrior. Take care. See you later. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe that is a valid theory. I don't know. It kind of makes sense, but I've got no evidence to back that up at all. But it was an interesting theory that I heard. So don't assume that's correct, but it could be. Yes. So anybody got anything else? Anybody want me to have a look at their channel? Did I miss anything? Any questions, or anyone that did want me to look at their channel before we wrap this up? Because I'm happy to do that if you're brave enough to let me do that on a live stream. I'm not going to bash anybody, of course. I am nice. But yeah, if you want me to take a look at anything, or anything else for that matter. Exactly, I have the same thing. It's always like the most offbeat subjects and nothing to do with my niche. Exactly. I guess one thing is that if you're talking about cooking, which is what Karen talks about, cooking and food is something that I would say many people, even if they're not really into the niche, have looked up before. Because my wife and kids look up YouTube recipes for different things. I even looked up one today. I was actually doing some research about cooking channels, and I came up with this, I don't know, what was it, fermenting food. I was like, oh, I'm interested in fermented food. I like fermented food, but I also kind of interested in a little bit of prepping and stuff as well, very casually. So I mark that for watching later. And I don't watch stuff about food and cooking, but because it is a thing that everybody needs, then I guess it makes more sense that you could be presented almost anywhere. Whereas YouTube growth is quite specific. And I don't think people watching Ricky Lake or whoever the latest thing is now would be that interested in my YouTube growth channel. If you want to go for it, feel free to roast me. All right, let's roast Eric then, or sorry, have a look at his channel. I've looked at his channel, so I mean, I'm aware of it. But what is it? Turbo. You'll probably see it pop up here because I've searched for it before. Yeah, there we go. There he is. I see. Eric has 2 channels, one for shorts. That's probably this one, right? I guess. And one for long form. Correct me if I'm talking nonsense here. So Eric is a gaming channel, and he's an older gamer, I guess, like many of us probably in this chat right now. I'm not sure there's anybody under 30 in here, is there? Probably not. Even under 35, I doubt. Yeah, I mean, on the face of it, I can't see any issues. I think all of your text is readable even at these small sizes. I think your thumbnails are decent. I guess what I've tried to do more recently is come up with a little bit more of a theme, but I think in gaming that's a bit more difficult maybe. I guess you can have, you know, text on one side a certain color and then the main image on one side and all that sort of stuff, but I don't think that's necessary. These ones are obviously a little bit harder to read because the text blends in a little bit, but that's from 2 years ago, so that kind of makes sense. Let's go into the actual video tab. Let's have a look at the oldest. Oh, there's a dog. 5 years ago. Okay, so you've got like gaming stuff from back then. I mean, again, like I guess your thumbnails have clearly improved because some of this is a little bit less readable. And now, if we go to latest, they're a lot better. So I mean, you've done basically what everybody should be doing, improving, right? You can clearly see that just from looking at the thumbnails. And you know, ones like this, it's nice. It's very clear. I know exactly what that is. That's OBS and that's DaVinci Resolve. I don't even need to look at the title to know what that is. So I think thumbnail wise, you're doing great. You got 531 subscribers. You had a secret maybe strategy that you were testing out that seemed to be working for you, but I don't know if you want to talk about it now, or that was something you were going to talk about in that December video that I challenged everybody to come back in December 2026 and say how their channel's doing. So maybe you want to wait till then. But you had a theory or an idea you were testing. So let us know if you came up with anything from that. Let's have a look. What have you done here? Posts, 1 month, 6 months, 7 months. Yeah, your posts are like mine, a bit random. I think posts are okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. I just think that making more videos and doing other things are probably generally going to be more effective than making too many posts, unless you don't spend too much time on the posts. Playlists. Let's see. Okay, so you got playlists set by game and stuff, it looks like, mostly, and streams. Yep, I think playlists are good as well, because playlists often autoplay a video after you finish the previous one. So that can just cause people that may be a bit distracted to just watch one of your other videos because it pops up immediately. They don't have to click an end card. Lives. Looks like you've done a few lives. Lives are tough. I think on my last live, even in this niche, I got, well, I don't know how many views I got now. I can probably go and have a look, but I think it was on 40 something at one point. So I don't think lives generally get as many views, but they get a lot of watch time while you're doing them. Shorts, I know you had a few, but maybe you've moved them now, I don't know. So yeah, I don't think there's anything bad about here. I don't care about things like banners and stuff. I'm not a big, I think yours is decent, especially for the gaming niche, but I don't put a lot of stock in banners because I think many people don't even find their way to your channel page anyway. And even if they do, by that point, they're kind of already sold enough that they're not going to be, oh, it's got a bad banner, I'm going to leave. I think when my eye comes to a channel, I'm usually drawn to the actual videos. I don't really care about the banner. So it's a small thing. I think yours is decent. But yeah, I can't do too much deep analysis on a live stream, but I think I can't see anything there that's bad. It looks like you've got a more successful video there. I wonder if, let's have a look, Ark Raiders, that's also a popular game nowadays, so that's got a few more views as well. But then you've got one there with 10 views and you've got one there with 470. It's a big difference. I guess it's again, this might be a search-based video. If it's got skill resets, might be a lot of people searching for that, whereas they might not be searching, oh yeah, maybe for quests. But I guess, you know, one thing you can do is you can go through some of the videos that have performed much better and try and work out what was it about them. Was it the content? Was it the subject? Was it the way you delivered it? Was it the length? These are really short, actually, so maybe that's something. That's on 7 seconds. But yeah, you can work out some things from looking at your old videos, right, and saying what are the elements that made these successful, and then look at your worst videos and see what are the elements that made them least successful, and try and work it out and try and come up with some similarities and common themes that you can follow. Let me get back to the chat a sec. Where are we? Long form is just Turbo 600. Yep, the short one has shorts written. Yep, okay. Josh is 33. He's a young'un in this group then, probably. Okay. What was that, Karen? That 46,000 views. Is that something that? What was that you were referring to there? Sorry, I missed something there. I'm getting a lot of traffic from really large channels on the OBS video because they didn't answer the question that I did. Exactly. That's a really good point, is that's what is one of the things that was successful about my Hera video, and something that you can do only if you believe in it is if you take another avenue, another opinion or another direction with your video. Let's say everybody was saying that Hera was really good and I disagreed and I tried it out. I didn't use an affiliate link. I tried it just through their website and I paid for it and I thought it sucked, and everybody said it was really good, and well, it doesn't suck, but it's not perfect. Anyway, so I bashed it quite a lot, and I told people don't use my affiliate link unless you understand the limitations and you still want to try it anyway, because it gave them a 15% discount as well. And yet I made over $100 on that video just from the affiliate stuff. So if you take an opposite opinion to other people, as long as you believe in it, because you don't just do it for the sake of it, because I don't agree with that. It's not ethical or moral for me to just be lying the whole time. But if you do have an opposite opinion, make a video with that opposite opinion, especially if everybody else is saying the opposite to you, because that will get traction. And maybe that's kind of what's happened here. You've answered a question that other people didn't. And I get so frustrated when I watch 6 or 7 different videos and no one's answered the one question that seems like the most obvious or the most annoying question, and no one's answered it. And I've made videos based on that before. I've got 4 or 5 different sources. I've put them into Notebook LM. I've got it to transcribe everything. And I've said, make me a super video out of this, you know, and then I've gone in and I've tried the thing out myself and I've found other things, and I've made what I call a super video, which is taking everybody else's videos and making them better, and a whole source, and finding all those things they haven't said or they haven't covered and that are super important and that frustrated me when I was trying to do whatever it was I was trying to do. I wish more people would acknowledge how large a role luck plays on YouTube. I have had videos get 75k and 100k views, but I attribute it to mostly luck. I've made videos about this too, but there is absolutely elements of luck involved, absolutely. But you can't rely on it, of course, as I'm sure you all know. So the main thing is to not rely on luck and just rely on trying to make better content that reaches more people, and when it does, it impresses them more. You know, if you make a good video, people are going to watch it for longer probably, You're going to get more comments and likes and all that engagement stuff that is really important for YouTube to then push videos further. Although that doesn't always work either. I actually came across a thread today about engagement, and somebody was saying, is it any good if you get 10% of your views as likes? And people saying, oh, that's really good, and it depends on niche and things as well. But I get around that, and I've been quite happy with that. And people have said you get quite good engagement on your videos. People have also said you don't get that many views. But I like the engagement. I think that's super important, because that's why you guys are sitting here watching me ramble on today, because you appreciate what I have to say and you engage with me through live streams or through my content. And my friend Adam from The Basement Economist, who had that 200,000 views video, his 200,000 views video gets less comments than most of mine. And I don't get, I'm lucky if I get over 1,000 on most of my videos at this stage. So engagement is super important, I think, and super useful. And for building, if you're building a community of people, or you're trying to, in the end, monetize things and sell services or products or whatever it is, or just recommend equipment that you think is really good and people go and click your affiliate links. If you've got no engagement, no one's going to care. But people trust you if they're engaged. They generally do it because they trust what you have to say and they trust who you are. And I think if you can build that, then that's more important than worrying about the views. And I've said that in videos too. But it is super frustrating when you get a lot of views and then you get none and you can't explain why. Like, I totally appreciate that, and it's happened to me. I have another channel, a really old channel. I haven't touched it for 6 or 7 years now. I got videos on there with 55,000 views and stuff. They were terrible. It was easier back then, I think. But even those, they didn't, they got a lot of views and stuff, but they didn't really get much in the way of comments and stuff. A little bit, but it wasn't like what I do here. Nothing like that. No sense of community in the way that I have on this channel. And I prefer the community than the views. The views will come in anyway. They have on my channel. I used to get like less than 100 views every video. Now I can get up to 1,000 on a decent day. So you can see it here in my last few if you want to take a look at that. But I'd be disappointed if I got less than 500 now. Really, that's why I was disappointed with those ones at the beginning of the year, because before that I was, as I showed you, getting much more. My sweet spot, I think, is 500. If I get more than that, I'm happy. I can relax. If I get less than that, I think, oh, what's happened now? What have I done? Or what's the algorithm done? Who knows? But yeah, you're definitely right with that comment. It is frustrating. There is luck involved. Let's see. I think that may have happened in my Fallout videos. Popular TV show, but my videos were complaining about it. Exactly. Contrarian views, they call it. It's an actual sort of thing that some creators promote. And there's a guy, Caleb Ralston, that I like. I haven't watched any of his videos for a while, but he has some really good videos on his channel. I'll find him so you can see. I've got no problem promoting. I've mentioned this guy before. I've got no problem promoting other people when there's good content, and this guy has good content. He has very long 4-hour videos with masterclasses on branding and stuff, and he talks about having contrarian views, and there's a few people who have, and usually the people that do are normally content creators that I think are quite good. So they're people that I trust, and this guy has trust because he's worked with Gary Vee and all sorts of people, Alex Hormozy. He knows what he's talking about. So if he's talking about contrarian views and stuff, then and that being a thing, I'm going to listen. And I've done it myself and it's worked. What have we got? Someone's been stealing your thumbnails. Well, it sounds like a bad thing, but that's a good thing, I would say. Because that shows, if people are imitating you, then that probably shows you're doing something right. So I don't think that's a problem. I'd be happy about that, because that means you're on the right track. So Thanks, Karen. You're always there to support me. Just want to say I came across this late, but I'm likely the oldest of the group at 65. Is this a regular scheduled event? It's not. I have only done 2 live streams so far, and my last one was probably a month ago or more, maybe. I should do them more often and more scheduled. So I think that's probably the kick up the butt that I need people to call me out and say, do these more if you guys like them. We're getting to an hour and 35 minutes now. So how many of you are still here? Concurrent viewers, is that now 9? That's not bad. But I'll probably call it quits in a minute because it's starting to get really hot in here. I don't know if you know that my studio is tiny. I can literally, I've shown you this before, but I touch the wall just behind the camera here and I don't even have to stretch, and I can touch, look. So I can barely pull my chair out without banging into the wall. So it gets very hot in here. The ceiling I can touch sitting down. So yeah, it's getting warm, especially with all the lights on and no air coming through. So I'm going to have to call it quits soon. But yeah, I mean, you know, you guys let me know in the comments on this video later if you want me to do more of these, because I tend to have a plan, but then I obviously like your questions as well. They help a lot. But I've kind of talked about everything that I wanted to talk about today. So if you guys have no more questions, I'll probably call it quits now. I think I said that about half an hour ago, didn't I? That was your fault, Eric, for goading me into carrying on. But yeah, I'll give you a couple of seconds, minutes to write anything else in there. But otherwise, really appreciate everybody watching today. It's nobody actually, I did a community post about this live, and I think last time 4 people liked it. This time no one did. I thought, oh, I'll be sitting here on my own talking to the camera, which is why I think it's important to have a plan. So when you asked earlier about, I got the question about from Noel about, not this question, but this channel, about should you do live streams, have a plan if you are going to, because if no one turns up, you've got to have something to talk about. And then basically what you're doing is you're just making an off-the-cuff video, right? Because when you upload it to your channel later, it's just going to be there as a video, although it'll be in the live section. So just have a plan, and maybe don't talk about your best ideas at the start, or at least the most important ones, because potentially you waste them. Of course, if no one's watched you, then you can just regurgitate them in another video anyway, because no one will know anyway if they haven't watched. Yeah, I've got a school community, which is free, and you can private message me over there, which you can't do on YouTube. I mean, I've got my email on here, but it's much easier to see on school and interact there. But also it's a place where you can, it's like a forum, but only for people that are approved by me. So it's basically subscribers to my channel. And plug your school. All right, look, I'm going to plug the school on the screen there. Yeah, school was really active for a while, and it's died a little bit recently, but it's a bit spikes and dips, a bit like YouTube, right? And there's some really good people over there, some really helpful people. And there's a lot of info over there that I don't share on my channel or my videos, even on the live streams, because, you know, it's a special place for that type of stuff. So I also have a little thumbnail course that's over there for free. I haven't finished it yet, but it's a work in progress, but it should help with thumbnails. And you can even post thumbnails over there and get an opinion from people as well, and including me. I answer everything on there. And if I haven't, I've missed it. So you can send me a message and say, hey, you didn't answer this, because I will answer everything like I do with comments. I answer every comment. So yeah, over on school, the link's in the description to all of my videos, so you can find it there. If you want to join that, you're most welcome. All right, you guys, I often wonder whether I should unlist live videos in a separate playlist, as I've heard it can be detrimental to have the live video appear in people's feed because a lot of people dislike those. I don't think so. I think from my viewers, when I go to my analytics, let me have a look. When I go to my analytics, everybody, all of my viewers watch long form, all of them watch shorts, I think, and 75% or something watch live. So you can tell by your let me see if I can find it, and then I can show you. I know I'm not sharing my screen at the moment, but I'll share it if I find it. I think it's under audience. Yeah, here it is. Let me share with you again quickly. I can show you where it is. So yeah, you've got under audience tab, you scroll down, it won't be there if you don't have enough data. So you need a certain amount of data, but then you've got this bit here, formats that your viewers watch. And you can see here, less than usual, but look, it's almost everybody watches lives. So if you see that on your own channel, I don't think you've got anything to worry about. I don't think it's going to have any negative effect. And lives generally won't get rewatched just because of the way they are presented, I think, on your channel. But my, let me see here, my content, my lives, I've got a bunch of test ones and all sorts, but my actual live stream, yeah, look, there we go. There's my last one, 311 views, 100% likes, 25 likes. I mean, I'll take that. 300 views. You saw some of my other videos earlier and they didn't have 300 views. So, and that is double dipping, like I say, on the watch time. So super useful. Right. You lot, anything more? Sorry, I got called away. I'm here now. Oh, no problem. I was actually going to wrap up now, unfortunately. So sorry about that, but I've been going for an hour and 41 minutes now. But great to have you all here. And I'll try and do more of these if you guys find them useful. So like I said, let me know if you do. And otherwise, I'll probably catch you in a video tomorrow. I'm going to try and get through the video to share with you my weekly structure that my document that I created. So that should help some of you. Good luck with monetizing this week. I'm pretty new. When are analytics worth paying attention to? Yeah, if you're new, they're really not worth paying attention to. They get more relevant as you get bigger, but I'm not a big fan of them, and I want to be, but I don't believe in the analytics that much because I believe that they lack so much context. It's like trying to analyze statistics without any context, you know, without even knowing what the statistics you're analyzing are. It's like, it doesn't, analytics are not that useful in a lot of cases. Some things are, but even the impressions click-through rate, who did your videos get shown to this time? Oh, my click-through rate's down. Well, who did they show it to? Was it because you made a bad thumbnail and your click-through rate's down, and a bad title? Or was it because they showed it to a bunch of different people who didn't like it, who were completely outside your niche? It's hard to find out. And even if you go and look where the video was shown after, it doesn't guarantee that that was the reason that you didn't get the clicks, because there can be 10, 20 different reasons, and probably 18 of them only YouTube knows. So, and they won't show you. So yeah, don't worry about analytics too much, honestly. Don't waste your time. Spend your time on making good stuff and improving the things you can improve. You guys are keeping me going forever. I can honestly say, Adi, when I started watching you, when you popped up in November and subbed immediately looking for help online, you answered right away and are very genuine and don't do the BS. No, I try not to. I try and tell you what I really think. I could be wrong sometimes, or a lot of the time maybe, but I will be honest with you about things. And the only thing I'm not honest about is my previous work, which I keep mentioning, but I keep not talking about, but I will one day. But I need to earn a living from this first before I can burn my, well, not burn my bridges, but I had a sensitive job, and it's not that the information was sensitive, but the type of thing I did was, and I can't share too much about that because I may have to go back into that industry again. And it wouldn't be good for me to share what that was if I was trying to look for another job in it, or to conduct that kind of work that I did before. Now you're all even more interested. I'm going to need to shut up, don't I? I will tell you one day. But you all need to sign up for memberships and, you know, give me a wage, and then I'll tell you. Glad you found him. He has helped me a lot watching his stuff, and you will see too. Thanks, you guys, for all those kind words. Do appreciate it every time, all your comments and your likes and all that stuff, and it really helps. That stuff is the way you can help me to make a success of my channel is by interacting and just taking that time to make a comment. And it's the same for any channel you watch. I'm really bad at liking people's videos, and I'm really bad at commenting. When I see a good video, I'm like, right, I'm going off to do that now, and I forget to do it. And I'm trying to get better at that because I know now how it is, and I still forget. I'm bad. I'm terrible. I should be better at that. But it does help people. The reason I don't go to your channels and hit likes and stuff very often, if at all, is because I don't have time to watch very much content at all. And when I do, it's not always your niche that I'm interested in. Even if I think your videos are cool, it might not be stuff that I watch. So I won't go to your channel and subscribe or like or do anything like that, because it will mess with your analytics and your algorithm, and they'll start sending me more of your videos and I won't watch them, and that won't be useful for anybody. And I've got 1,216 subscribers now. I can't watch everybody's videos. There's too many of you already. There was too many of you when there was 20 of you. So that's why I don't do that, because I'll just hurt your channels. I'd love to go and subscribe and like and comment on all your stuff. I wouldn't be able to keep up, and it wouldn't be genuine, and it wouldn't help you. Even though it make you feel better probably that you had more engagement, that engagement wouldn't be real engagement, and it wouldn't help you in the end. So don't do that stuff. I've been a subscriber here for a while. I agree that there is much to learn here. First live stream for me here. Oh, thanks very much. I appreciate it. I do my best to pass on the things I learned. That was what I set out to do. I didn't set out to be a growth channel as such. It was more, I'm going to create a channel. What do I need to do? And that was my idea, to share almost like a journey, a personal vlog almost. And it kind of became a growth channel because that's what I was learning, right? I was trying to grow a channel, so I started learning that. But I've got videos about editing. I've got videos about, problems with programs and how to fix them. I've got AI tools. I've got product reviews. I've got a studio tour on how I set all this stuff up. It's basically all the stuff that I learned along the way that you guys are also learning, and I just made videos out of it. I'll probably get more intentional in the future and in the end, and focus down on specifics. But I said that I would grow this channel as a normal person trying to grow a channel, and I said that was the journey I was going to follow. So I'm sticking with that until I'm monetized, and then I might sort of go off a little bit and be either more specific or change a little bit the way I do things. But I'm sticking with the format for now because that's what I set out and I said I would do, and so that's what I'm going to do. Simple as that. Because then you guys can see that it doesn't have to be perfect. You can still get there. And I don't know if it's updated now. It's not updated for today, I don't think, the watch time, especially not for this video. So I've got 220 maybe hours. After today I'll have a lot less, I'm sure. So I'm almost there. I will let you guys know as soon as I get there. All right, I really am going to go now. We're almost at the 2 hour mark. Thank you everybody for being here. I really appreciate it. It means a lot that you guys would give up your time to sit here with me and have a chat about YouTube. I've enjoyed it a lot. I love listening to what you guys have got to say and listening to your successes and your issues as well. And if I can help in any way, pop over to school, and especially while I'm smaller, like, throw messages at me. I see people not answering comments when they're really small channels, and they definitely don't do it when they get big, and I think that's terrible. And I think especially when you're small and you've got the time, make an effort. I might not always be able to keep up in the end, but I can now. So you can hit me up with any questions you have on school or in private messages over there, and I will help you. All right, thanks guys, take care, and I'll see you maybe tomorrow.